Hello, welcome to a Gauntlet Hangouts game, which is, just a fun time for everyone involved. All right, that was a terrible intro. Sorry. Yeah, the Gauntlet is like this cool RPG community you can find online. You can find them on Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus for the time being. Apparently, what they do is, they play cool games with cool people, and we have a bevy of cool people here as well. The game we're playing, well, we're playing Masks: A New Generation, which is a teen superhero game powered by the apocalypse. It's all about figuring out who you are through the medium of trying to make the world a better place. Written by Brendan Conway, published by Magpie Games. There's probably a link at the bottom of this YouTube video. If you're watching this, you're not watching this live because I didn't give out the link live. So there you go. Yeah, so before we jump into it, I'd like to get a quick intro from everyone here because this is part four of a four-part series. This is the finale. And once again, we have a guest star with us in this session, which we're very happy to have with. But we'll get you to introduce yourself last. First, so when you introduce yourself, I would like a name, pronouns, and as always, shout out a cool thing on the internet, whether you're involved with it or not. Doesn't matter. So if you think something needs, a bit of attention, no, shout out here. We'll start with David.
Hi, yeah, I'm David. I'm based in the UK. I'm been playing games with the Gauntlet now since the summer of this year. And today I'm going to be playing the forgetting the name of the thing, the Beacon, the Shoreline Spectre, or Kai Ventura, as his street name is. He made his superhero debut last week when he attempted to thwart the kidnapping of Saguaro, one of the other superheroes who unfortunately I don't think will be joining us this evening.
That's a shame. We'll actually get to the super introductions in
Oh,
a
sorry.
bit. No worries, no worries. Do you have a cool thing you want to shout out though?
No, I hadn't thought that far ahead. I'll just give a quick plug to the Plus One Forward podcast, which is the Gauntlet podcast devoted to PBTA games. So if you're watching this and haven't heard that, then yeah, give it a listen. The last episode was really interesting.
Yeah,
And
in
fact mentioned masks. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely check out Masks. There should be a link down there. Also, yeah, that latest episode Plus One Forward was all about playing PBTA games in settings and like defined settings and whatnot. Check that out. It's all really cool. Up next, we've got Jim.
Hey, I am Jim Crocker, and folks who know me from outside the Gauntlet know me because I've been a retailer of particularly independent tabletop games, role RPGs and story games for, gosh, about 25 years at this point, from the store I used to manage in Ann Arbor and working at Borders up through Modern Myths, which I owned for 16 years. But those stores just closed down this year. And I have transitioned to a business where I sell a whole lot of indie games at conventions. If you look behind me, you'll probably see a whole lot of covers of games you recognize. That's because I'm coming to you from my office for this game, which I'm psyched to now have set up to actually be able to play games in my office. So that is pretty cool. I'm enjoying that. If you don't see me at an East Coast or Midwest convention to say hello to at my Jim Likes Games or Indie Press Revolution booth, you can find me on Twitter at Jim Likes Games and on the internet at www.jimlikesgames.com, where I sell a bunch of this stuff through a little Shopify website, and we'll hopefully be blogging and streaming and stuff a lot more in the coming year as I get that new business up and running. I've been on the Gauntlet for just about exactly like a little over a year. I've been GMing for 6 or 7 months at this point, and superhero games are very much my jam. It's kind of my favorite kind of role playing. And I'm really enjoying Leandro's game here. And I'm part of the Gauntlet shared universe superhero thing that we're going to be spinning up in 2019 as well. So that's something to look for, our Gauntlet Comics universe that we're going to get going. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's big, exciting climax to our campaign.
Oh, looking forward to Gauntlet comics as well. That's a really cool shared universe being done by Jim and Rich Rogers and Lowell, if I remember correctly. So watch out for the new year. That's gonna be swell.
And Brendan Conway, who is the designer of masks, he's in on it as well. He helped us with our kind of initial universe design, and he's gonna be part of the Gauntlet Comics thing also.
Well, I didn't know that. Oh my god, well, that's really exciting. All right, well we can.
Yep,
well,
it's pretty cool.
That's gonna be really cool. All right, well, keep it down, keep it down. All right, up next we've got Tim.
Tim Osborne. I've been participating in Gauntlet since this year's Gauntlet Con, though I didn't actually go to that event. One cool thing, if you've been paying attention in the last few, I actually have a new area I've moved to. I was actually cleared off a spot, so I don't have to worry about feline interruptions or anything like we have in the past.
Fab. Yeah, feline interruptions. They're apparently usually I thought they're always a welcome thing, but apparently there is a gradient in how welcome they could be.
That's an awe-inspiring pile of board games you got over your shoulder there that we're seeing. So,
oh yeah, that's
great.
Like half.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And a pile of graphic novels. So that's great. Awesome.
That's amazing.
Those are just the ones I've read.
Oh Jesus. I don't want to. Okay, we could marvel at the size of your to read pile. It would be horrific. We could compare. Like I have 134 in my room at the moment, just like crying to be read out. But no, instead we're playing tabletop games, which is probably it's a different.
I don't have that many.
Last but not least, joining us for this final session. Last minute, but always welcome. Blaine, please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Blaine. I've been messing around with the Gauntlet since about GauntletCon as well. Haven't been able to get into too many games lately just because of the hectic holiday schedules and everything, but I hope to be getting into more of that as the year goes on. I haven't played Masks before, so this is going to be my first Masks session. Looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of great things, and hopefully we'll come up with some kind of good hero for me to play. As far as me, I'm Ann Arbor based. I've been started off with Dungeons and Dragons and gradually moved into indie gaming. That's me. And I guess a quick cool thing to plug on the internet, I highly recommend the podcast Silhouette Zero, which is a Star Wars game podcast where all the characters are, as the title implies, Silhouette Zero, which is the smallest they can be.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Add that to my list of stuff to check out. But yeah, so before we jump into the game itself, just to set the tone, we're going to go through the safety tools we're using tonight. Mainly because we're in the Gauntlet, we like to play in a comfortable environment and a safe environment, because the main thing is to, enjoy and have fun, and with, collaboratively tell a story in the most comfortable spaces. So the main ones we're using are kind of like the bread and butter of the Gauntlet. We have our lines in veils. If you, for those who, we're not going to shout out what they are. They're in the character keeper. There's a tab there. But basically, lines, things are not going to show on screen anyway. Just not going to cross them. And veils are things that can happen in the fiction, but we are, we're just gonna, elude over that, just like throw a veil over that. Like it could happen, but it's not going to be explicit. We're not going to do it on screen. Something that I put out in the description, I've only mentioned in the previous session, is we do have an open table policy. So basically, if anyone needs to go for myriad of reasons, or if they themselves want to call a break, because Lord knows I might forget. maybe or maybe not. But if anyone wants to call a break or anyone has to step away from the game for any reason, please do so. Shout it out if you need so. It'll be fine. No judgment here. Finally, we always have the X card, which is basically if anything shows up on screen that's that makes you uncomfortable, that kind of turns the story into a direction that's unpleasant for yourself, whatnot. You can drop an X here or in the chat, or just say you want to exit, and we're gonna roll back and try out this scene in a different angle. Like, no one gets to ask why. I might ask what specifically we're moving away from, but again, if something needs to like be rolled back and we talk about it, that conversation is open, and I'd hope everyone here will be respectful if anyone ever needs to have that conversation, which I know y'all be. I played enough games with at least 3 of y'all that I know y'all are gonna be respectful. So thumbs up to all of y'all anyway. And yeah, so when we last left our heroes in this town, in this neighborhood of Shoreline, just to lay out what's going to happen this session, because I mentioned it off broadcast, but not here. We are going to run through kind of like a quick fire recap of what happened to kind of each character in this world, and then we will get a chance to introduce Blaine's character once they're set. But I'm going to lay out the kind of like the big picture. The big picture story of this past 4 weeks, which is basically so we're playing Masks, but we're also playing the Spiderweb playset written by Mark Diaz Truman and Brendan Conway, which is basically these playsets. They add new rules, they add like different mechanics to tell a different story within Masks. So the Spiderweb specifically is about low-level street superheroics. So it's all about trying to keep your neighborhood together and dealing with more mundane threats, less Green Goblin and more the Kingpin, so to speak. There might still be some Green Goblin stuff, but we're definitely have kept it in the more low key. People have guns and like Tarantino movies rather than dress up as pirates and shoot, I don't know, magic paste. There's a Spider-Man villain who did paste. I remember him. His name was Paste Pot Pete. He was not great. We're not.
Trapster. The Trapster.
Okay. Hey, look. Yeah, I know he changed his name, but you start up with Paste Pot Pete. That's gonna haunt you for the rest of your comic book career. But yeah, so we're here in this city called Prospect City, where if Halcyon City is the shining city in the hill, the greatest city in the universe, Prospect City is not. It's just not every city can be the greatest city in the world. This is also this is a coastal city. It's definitely a bit more rundown. Like, I've been using Atlantic City as a touchstone, but really it's basically any kind of major coastal city that's kind of a cultural capital, but not really. But yeah, as Tim mentioned, Chat Halcyon's poor, trashy cousin down south. So. And the neighborhood we've been in is called Shoreline. But the thing with Shoreline is it's in the grasp of this criminal known as the Spider. And the Spiderweb is also the name of the criminal conspiracy that's kind of controlling Shoreline and its neighborhood. And we have our heroes who's risen up to try and defeat this menace, or at least try to check against it. So I'm gonna have the 3 of y'all to introduce your characters. I'm gonna start on the other way, how my screen goes. Tim, tell us about your protege. Not your protege, well, but the character that you're playing, who is using the protege playbook. Tell us about the Rook.
Feel sorry for anybody be my protege. The Rook is James Ryder. He was basically his family and the building he lived in was burned down by arson, and he was taken in by a mass vigilante at the time known as the Night Falcon, who has since become injured and unable to fight crime on his own, but he's trained me up as well to basically do the same thing. He hasn't really explained why. He just just did, and he basically has learned impossible fighting skills from his mentor, but he has developed his own ability in making small gadgets and weapons. And not quite as stealthy as his mentor, but he has a few resources that has been given to him by the Night Falcon that he uses to basically fight crime with, among them a base that he has shared with the rest of the team.
Basically, he is a very badass sort of Robin type character who, kicks a lot of ass. He took down 4 guys with assortments of shotguns and machine guns all by himself. It was really, really cool. Basically, the Rook is basically the cool cat of this team. He's keeping it together. Speaking of barely keeping it together in terms of their obligations and their family life. Jim, tell us about your Janice. Tell us about Tatsuko. Tell us about Hardsuit.
So Hardsuit is the Janice, which means that the most important part of her life of being a superhero is keeping her identity separate, maintaining her identity as the power armor wearing hero Hardsuit, keeping that separate from, excuse me, keeping that identity separate from that of everyday, average, nothing to see here, schoolgirl, Tetsuko Masuda. And Hardsuit is basically like one of the cops from Bubblegum Crisis. She's got a suit of kind of form-fitting power armor with a full face mask that completely conceals her identity, and like a vocoder when she speaks that changes the sound of her voice so that no one can know who she is. In addition to the kind of typical stronger, tougher, able to take more punishment than a typical person walking around, she has inhuman speed. When she gets up ahead of steam on that suit there, it's got like little rocket packs that shoot out of the shoulders that can get her going, ripping along at tremendous speeds, and she can do stuff like go up the sides of walls if she's going fast enough and things like that. And what the playbook calls supernatural senses, which in this case I've skinned as a sensor suite that's built into her helmet that lets her do stuff like sonar and radar and see all up and down the visible spectrum and stuff like that, in ways that make sense whenever we need it to with the plot, as kind of the plot in the story dictates. So I think last game she didn't get into her costume at all, because a fight happened at school and she can't just throw her costume on, and then everyone says, hey, it's Hardsuit, but where's Tetsuko? So we had some fun with that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of how those as we kind of approach our climax, how her 2 worlds, which are, Leandro, when someone plays the Janice, that's telling the GM they want to complicate that and smash those worlds together, and Leandro's done a pretty good job of that so far. So wait and see how all of that rattles out. Tetsuko had a complicated relationship with Saguaro, because Tetsuko was her love in her civilian identity, but she didn't know that Tetsuko is also Hardsuit, and so there was some complicated stuff going on there. I'm kind of sad that she's not going to be with us, but I'm sure we can find some other complications to mix things up with as we go along here.
Oh yeah, like the great thing with Mask is that because the moves and the mechanics are less about how you do superpowers, but more about how you feel when you're doing your superpowers, like complications up to wazoo, basically. Like I don't think we're run out of teenage drama to complicate our characters' lives. Okay, I don't have a segue for this. Sorry, David. But tell us about your eager fanboy of superheroes. This kid who was, who thought to take the mantle as well. Tell us about the Shoreline Spectre.
Yes, so the Shoreline Spectre is Kai Ventura. He's a classmate, in fact, for all the other characters in A Strange Twist of Fate. He up until now, or up until last week, his involvement in sort of the goings on in the city was mostly related to sort of local activist groups. Say graffiti artist and so on and so forth. But yeah, last week he took up the mask and came to the rescue, or at least helped to rescue Saguaro from a kidnapping plot. This was, as I said earlier, his debut as a superhero. His superheroic powers are that he can sneak around a bit and it's quite acrobatic. Some people might say those aren't actually superpowers at all, but he's got heart and that's what counts. Yeah.
We'll see where his heart takes him tonight. Like, you can say he has heart, but no, don't worry. We're not gonna get like we had this talk in the first session. We weren't gonna get grim dark Daredevil Netflix. We're not gonna get that far. There'll be hardship, there'll be emotions and whatnot, but we should be fine. Oh yeah, I should mention, Blaine, if you have any questions, ping them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them as best we can. But yeah, if you just have any questions, message in the chat.
Yeah, we'll do.
Wow. Cool. All right. So I think also mention it's you don't have to answer all the backstory questions because again, we're kind of we're kind of in a bit of the deep end. But also I will mention that I'm running through all these play sets. So if somehow you end up on another mask game and running in the future, you can probably play the same characters, all going to be in the same city. Like next month's going to be bird aliens taking over the city. That's going to be fun. But yeah, okay. So we'll find like a perfect spot to debut your hero anyway. Unless, do you think you have it now, or do you want a bit more time?
I'll probably need a bit more time. I've got the bones of it, just sort of nailing together the mechanical aspects is where I'm at right now.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry too much about like all the mechanical stuff, like what all the moves does, whatnot. Role playing is a conversation. You'll just tell me what you want to do, and then we'll see how the rules interpret it. So don't worry about that. Yeah. But yeah, so last session, yeah, things got heated at school because it looked like a normal day, but this security firm, this mysterious security firm that just came out of nowhere, very new, just kind of started trying to take the school over. They were called Coyote, and they were like very professional people in suits, but they kind of messed with the wrong teens, I guess. But the creepiest part is that because of what this is a supposition of Night Falcon, was kind of confirmed that this group Coyote was formed very recently to hunt this team down, and they nearly did catch one of your teammates, Saguaro, and in the process of that, as y'all managed to beat up and send the Coyote packing, thanks to Tatsuko's camera shenanigans, which basically captured police brutality, it also kind of outed Saguaro, Jenny Alvarez, as this hero. Ah, God, yeah. Mobile phones, the bane of crime writers who don't have imagination. But yeah, so things have kind of gone hectic, and Night Falcon, Rook's mentor, has kind of put together that yes, whoever's behind Coyote is now targeting the four of you specifically, and this is kind of borne out in the. We'll say, I'm gonna ask the three of you to tell me what you're doing in between that incident and the dance, and kind of like how you all feel what's in with this incident that I'm going to describe right now. Actually, I'll describe right now. So I think what happened in between then is that obviously Saguaro's notoriety has risen, and you can't be an out superhero just like that, especially in a neighborhood that's kind of boiling in tension, what with all the shenanigans happening with the Spiderweb. So what happens in between this and the dance is that one day, Saguaro's place, where she's staying with her help, Mr. Heller, this history teacher, it just gets firebombed right at the front. Yeah, someone throws Molotov cocktail at their front door, and yeah, because of this, Mr. Heller kind of overrode Saguaro and saying, "Yeah, look." They were too open a target, and he's kind of packed her off, and they've kind of gone. He has military connections, so they've kind of gone out of Prospect City for now. And yeah, I think she probably left y'all a message, including the Spectre, who got a new communicator. You know, he's now part of the team. But yeah, I think actually, yeah, you tell me what would the message be, or maybe she left you all an individual message. I'd say. But yeah, what was the message, and like, how do y'all feel about how the tension has ramped up and Saguaro has basically been driven out of Prospect City? Um, Start with Jim. It looks like you have an idea. Tatsuko.
Um. So, what was the message that she sent us?
Okay, maybe not so much a message, but like, how are you feeling?
I think I'm feeling I think honestly Tetsuko feels a bit of that must be nice for her that she can leave. You know what I mean? That she's got someone that can pull her out of here and protect her and keep her safe, and that she doesn't, and this is like such a teenager thing to think, which is she's lucky she doesn't have a family. You know what I mean? Like the rest of us, we have people like I can't go anywhere. I can't just pack up and leave. You know, I can't just like say, well, things are too hot here, so I'll just, get my, get one of the teachers to take me to, to whisk me away with him. I've got to stay here and take care of my mom. So I think almost certainly feeling like betrayed is the wrong word, because it's not like she's abandoning us, but just a probably kind of pretty like semi-toxic mix of like she's got it, and not even toxic, but like super conflicted, where it's like, oh my god, she's got it so good that she can leave. Oh, except for the part where she's confined to a wheelchair. Except I'm not supposed to think about that as being something that's bad, except, and like just kind of whiplashing back and forth between those things, I think. So, but definitely a healthy dose of like maybe jealousy. Like that she has that as an option, that she can just pick up and go. I don't like begrudge her that, or at least I tell myself I don't begrudge her that, because she's doing what, like she's staying safe, and clearly she's being specifically targeted. But yeah, I think definitely more than a little bit of like, well, that must be nice for her that she can leave.
Oh, to be a teenager again and think you figured out the entire world. And also the fun thing is, I think Saguaro probably didn't want to go, but she probably got overridden. But Tatsuko doesn't know that. So.
Also, I'm the first person to ever feel this way. Nobody else understands how intense my feelings on this subject are, because no one else has ever felt it as much as I do right now. So,
God, teenagers. Oh my god. Rook, James, how are you feeling that one of your teammates have essentially been driven out of Prospect City?
Well, I'm saying just the pragmatist that James is. He probably kind of understands the whole going to ground, because I mean, she just more or less was outed even more than she had previously been, what with the noticeable, military grade weapon, built wheelchair. But now more people have like a name to go with that face. So I mean, he just probably kind of understands it because, like I said, it just makes sense to him. So he would need to go to ground.
Makes sense. Always pragmatic our rook. And finally, Kai. Oh no, your date's been run out of the city. What's gonna happen now? How are you feeling?
Yeah. No, I think Kai's probably feeling a bit sort of disappointed because like he thought, Suara was like the coolest of the superheroes and was looking forward to kind of being on the team with her. So he's again probably that sort of recognizes that it's got to be done sort of thing, but is sort of upset that they won't get to work together for now, but is also probably determined to put a stop to the people that are behind this.
Fab, use that resentment as fuel. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, to do good things. And Blaine, again, when you feel like you're ready, just shout out in the chat.
I think I'm about there.
Okay.
So I can go if we're ready for that.
No worries. Yeah. Well, I'll keep going. I still have a bit more to ask everyone else. So okay. So Saguaro kind of like the main hero after Tatsuko's actions in the previous session. She was kind of like the big one, and now she's been run out. And I think you kind of see this in social media, maybe in the talk around school, that specifically some people in Change Now, which is Change Now is a bunch of activists who are trying to like get Shoreline to kind of trying to fix Shoreline, because what happens after this is that there's a tension there, but it almost feels like people are determined to go back to normal. Like Saguara's been run out. There's just unease, a bunch of unfamiliar people running around, and meanwhile, Change Now are kind of like, and there's a lot of hashtags. They're going for like, where's Hardsuit? Where's the Rook? Where's our heroes? And that's what I'll ask each of you. Yeah, what have y'all been doing since then as superheroes? What have y'all been trying to do? What have you been trying to track down? Because again, there are targets on your back, but you're not gonna sit at home waiting for things to happen. That's not how you do. And otherwise, why would we be playing this? And let's go back the other way if that's all right. I want to know, like, so Shoreline Spectre, your hero's been run out, but you want to using this fuel to do better. So, and you have kind of become a hero, inauspicious debut aside. What's like, so tell me, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so I think the Spectre has been sort of skulking around the city, poking into the sort of dodgy dealings and corrupt police and all this sort of thing, kind of snapping pictures of people, taking bribes and stuff and posting them up on social media.
What's an unusual thing that's caught your eye? Like, what's the one that interests you the most?
Sure. I think Coyote Security have been taking over some of the roles that the police used to serve at like the mayor's office and other sort of civic buildings.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Bounce back from getting outed as kidnapping students. No. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Okay. So Coyote Security is still around. The Rook, what have you been doing?
I've probably been just kind of doing some other background investigations, maybe checking out who, specifics on maybe who firebombed Subaru's house, but also looking in on anything I can find about the Coyote security,
All
while
right.
Night Falcon might be pulling his sources as well.
All right. I was gonna ask you what unusual thing you found, but I might ask you to roll a move. Actually, no. I'm not gonna make you do that because I was gonna ask everyone what unusual thing they found, and you've been doing your digging. What's the unusual thing the Rook has found?
You kind of asked me too fast on that.
Okay,
Wasn't
all right.
expecting.
Do you want to think about that while I ask Hardsuit how their life is going after
Yeah, I could probably use a little time on that.
after jumping another gymnastics? Actually, I'll let you to roll your move because we have to roll that because it has been a few
Yeah,
days.
it's been a few days, which means obligations kick in. So let me just pop open our roll for your party here. Here we go. All right, so I'm rolling plus mundane, which is my good stat. 6 plus 3 gets me a 9, so I've got I hit a 7 and 9. I think that means, I believe what that means is that one of my obligations is going to give me trouble. Is I think
your
what's
choice.
going on. That I have neglected one of my obligations. So let me take a look and see what I've got here.
Oh, you also on a hit, you also get an opportunity or advantage thanks to one of your obligations.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't think we did that last game.
Yeah, no, I think we missed that. We just looked
That's
at
okay.
79.
That's okay.
Well,
I'll
something to
figure
remember.
something out.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just get my tabs in order here. So let's see. Well, plus your mundane to see how you're managing your obligations. On a hit, things are going pretty well. You have an opportunity or advantage thanks to one of your obligations. A 7-9, you've lapsed on one of your obligation, your choice. I think, because we didn't really get into it last time, I'm going to continue to have that be the gymnastics team, the one that I lapse on. I think I I think it's probably now I left that note and then I didn't hear from her for a couple of days. So I was like, oh, okay, everything's okay. But then I skipped another practice, but then I didn't want to go talk to her. So it's like turning into one of these things where I think, yeah, it's like the longer you don't apologize, the harder it is to apologize. So you don't apologize, which makes it worse, which means you really do need to apologize more, but it's harder. But I think it's kind of starting to turn into one of those things. I think that where I the advantage that I get is that my internship, which I'm gonna say is it's like a city hall thing. So like I'm an intern at maybe not like the mayor's office, but like one of the civic offices, where people go to get um uh health permits or something like that. Yeah, let's say it's at the health department, right? So I have an internship at the city health department, and mostly that means doing clerical stuff and filing and things like that and everything. But I think even at the city health department, we used to have like a couple of a couple of security guards that were just hired by the city, and now they're coyote guys. But the fact that I have access to like records and stuff there means that if we wanted to do some snooping, like real snooping, I could probably, use the fact that I work there, to help us with that. Does that sound reasonable, Leandro?
Yeah. No, that sounds incredibly reasonable.
Okay.
So that's an option for you all. And I'll leave it up to you, Jim, how you tell everyone else that this option is available. Because again, like how does Hardsuit know all this? But we'll see about that. Speaking of obligations,
Hardsuit has a friend. Hardsuit just has a friend in City Hall. And I mean, like this is totally the thing where I say there's a student that you go to school with who got in touch with me because she's concerned about what she saw at the health department. That can totally like that's such a Janice thing to like say, I happen to know this person who can help you out, and then
oh, it so is.
She'll meet you at City Hall at 9 o'clock at night, kind of thing. I think that's that's so comic booky. I'm totally on board with that.
Ooh. Is that what you all want to do? I mean, do you say that to like your I almost said Discord chat or WhatsApp group?
Please feel free to go through everybody, and then if no one's got a better idea, then that's a thing we can do. But like just putting that out on the table for once we've kind of laid out everybody's stuff.
Yeah, fab. Okay, so before we do that, are you okay, Blaine? Again, I'll just leave it up. You should message the chat again if you're ready.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. So
you ready? Fab. Okay. So let's look through. Okay, so just tell us a character's name, their superhero name, what playbook you're using, and then I'm gonna ask you your backstory questions. And also I'll probably ask like how would you know of the team? So to speak.
Yeah, that part's gonna be the tricky part, but overall, I am Nathaniel Smith, who is his hero name is the Masked Marauder. His costume is basically just black clothing with a black ratty mask. He doesn't exactly have a lot of time or money to put into his costume. It's pretty utilitarian. I'm playing as the Bull, and other than that, got some backstory going, but you can ask them the order you care about.
Yeah. Ask yourself there. So basically, the Bull, for those watching, is that was who Saguaro played, and they're basically the wear their hearts on their sleeves, kind of charge into action, like super tough but super gregarious sort of character archetype. But yeah, we'll ask your backstory, because part of the Bull's backstory is that they were made, they were experimented on, and they were changed. So Nathaniel, who changed you?
I don't know who it would be in this setting, but I was very sickly as a child, and my parents didn't have a lot of money, so I was enrolled in a very shady experimental program. So that could be tied to some company. It's in line with that.
Okay. How did you escape from them, though?
Basically, as the experiments started actually showing progress, and he realized that he was becoming stronger and just less sick, and then the experiments got more and more intense, and he started to feel like his life was in danger. He started wondering about what was going to happen to him as things got on, and he basically busted out through a wall type deal.
Classic. Who outside the team tries to take care of you now?
After I escaped, I tried to tell a bunch of people about like these crazy experiments and the stuff that was going on with his company. Pretty much the only one who believed him was Paige Turner, a reporter for I don't know what the local news company would be, or if it would be a less reputable one.
Oh, Let's see. Oh well, we don't have to give Paige
Yeah.
newspaper name at the moment. Well, we'll probably will in the future. She might show up again. Who knows? Why do you try to be a hero, Nathaniel?
Well, at this point, he feels very free at the moment because he no longer feels like he's a prisoner in his own body. Because like he was not quite bedridden, but pretty close to. So like he's really just trying things out, getting a hold of himself, and seeing how far he can go.
That's a big mood right there. Why do you care about the team? I'll tell you now. You probably haven't been part. You're not like. I think from where we start, they probably don't know of you yet, or maybe it's just well, we'll see. We'll ask how the team knows you, but why do you care about the team?
For him, it's pretty much a driving need for external validation at this point, going along with the whole no longer a prison in his own body type thing. So it's like, hey, I'm doing this too. See, I'm doing it too. Can you acknowledge that I'm doing this type thing?
Oh my God, you and Spectre are gonna be fighting for attention there tonight. Oh, we'll see. Finally, the last question, which you don't have to answer, but it's a new question was added for this playset. What has the Spiderweb, which is this criminal empire basically built by this criminal known only as the Spider? What have they taken from you?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure about that, but just going from that, maybe it's part of the reason why his family is poor, is like they got scammed by this criminal organization, maybe?
No, that makes sense. We've kind of been going with the theme that the Spider, not in the when our team first came together questions, the Spider is actually, just helping gentrification come along, so to speak. They fought an evil realtor.
It's not gentrification. It's
All right.
explicitly like straight up like intimidating people into selling their houses. I mean, it's like blackmail and extortion.
Yeah, it's way more.
Yeah.
It's not like he's somehow they're somehow manipulating the social currents of to induce all this. No, they're very explicitly forcing people out, making sure whatever properties are there. So that's what the Spider is doing. Okay, so I'm not gonna ask you how the team first came together, but I'm just gonna ask you, how do you know of the team, and does the team know of you?
I think probably just from paying attention to what's going on in the city is how I would know of them. I don't know that they would know of me because I'm still really new to this whole superhero thing, and it's probably just like masked vigilante. Like the news probably doesn't even have a name for me yet, type thing.
Fab. Okay. All right. So, ooh, Shoreline Beacon. That's a good newspaper name. Oh yeah, David. I think you can probably cross off that drive, and you get to lighthouse. Yeah, and you get to either mark potential, clear a condition, or take influence over someone involved. So Saguaro's not here, so probably not that last one. You just message in the chat, and what decision you make there, David. But okay, all right. Oh, Jim, you say something? Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I saw you message there in the chat. All right, okay. All right. So, Hardsuit has has a lead, and I think everyone else on the team kind of like.
Can I
Go on.
interrupt just for a second?
Go on.
Or is the Mass Marauder going to have a love and a rival?
I'll leave that up to you.
It's a super important part of the playbook.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, I didn't quite know how that fit into the playbook. That's one of the ones that I didn't have a huge idea how that went in. It sounds like if I'm going to be fighting with Spectre for attention, that would make a good rival.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't know about love.
Oh yeah,
I guess
I'll
you
also
could be into
say
older women and really like Paige Turner. That doesn't really fit in with
no, it has to
using
be.
that.
It kind of has to be a PC. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of so. I mean, if you want to make that either Tetsuko or Hardsuit, but not Tetsuko, that's fine too. Like that would be like, it would be super fun to have one bull who's in love with Tetsuko and a different one who's in love with her superhero identity without knowing who she is. If
Yeah.
that's a thing you wanted to do, I'm happy to step up and have that be if you want to do that. And I think I mean and you can, I think you can make it an NPC. That just that
It's
just
it's
puts
throwing away that part of the playbook a little bit.
Puts a little pressure on Leandro to introduce that in, as a plot element. But it is just, I just wanted to make sure, and like if you don't want to deal with it, that's totally cool. But I did want to make sure that we gave you the chance, like that it was out there. If that was a thing you wanted to do. The other thing that I was hoping we could do, Leandro, was take a second because the Shoreline Spectre has some drives, and those are things that we may be able to help him with when we play.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That we could help him accomplish. So maybe if we are, David, if you're comfortable sharing those with us, it gives us the tools to try and help you, drive towards them.
Yeah, sure thing. So the the drives I've chosen, and we just had a bit of a chat about this in the thing. So one of the ones I had, which I think I sort of achieved last week, was help a teammate when they most need you. When I came to Sawara's rescue, so I've marked that one off now. The other three are earn the respect of a hero you admire, pull off a ridiculous stunt, and kiss someone dangerous, which are all on the table. And yes, I will definitely be working towards those.
Fab. Oh, I also mentioned playing. You see, I see. Yeah, you have drives there. I don't think the bull doesn't have really drives. They just, they have the love and rival, and they have a move that does stuff with the love and rival, and that's fairly important. Yeah, to the bull. Thanks for bringing it up, Jim. The rook. You said you thought of a thing that you've been looking into.
I kind of figured I found a remains of a detonator that's not something that would. I mean, granted, detonators aren't something you'd normally find anywhere anyway, but this one kind of is basically something. It's not like the usual that criminals would use, or just some, off the street arsonist bomber or whatever. It's more specialized or, high tech. So that might lead to a clue or a link somewhere.
Fab. Okay. So just to run down all of these unusual things you found. Spectre has found Coyote security is taking over police roles. Rook has found the remains of a detonator that's not standard issue. And Hardsuit's found that she has an inn, or Tatsuko has an inn in City Hall. And a new hero is on the offing. So what I'm going to do is, because we're on the hour, we're going to take a 5-minute break. But I'll tell you now, the scene that's going to open up after the break is going to be, well, I think the three of you who have communicators, you'll get a message that the Rook usually only gets a very terse, meet me in your hidden base. And that's the Night Falcon calling your team over. And well, I won't tell you what he's gonna give, but he's gonna basically you'll come across Nathaniel soon enough. But yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Just stretch your legs and whatnot. So we will be back at 7 past the hour. So yeah, BRB. All right, so we're all back. And one thing, forgot another thing in character creation, what we need to do, Nathaniel's influence. So for those who've never played Mass, influence is kind of like one of the big time mechanics because influence determines what characters' words have effect, what characters have effect on you, and what how you have effect on other people's on other characters, so to speak. But basically, if people have influence on you, basically they can mechanically. There's lots of stuff they can do as well. If you have influence on people, there's stuff you can do mechanically. Otherwise, we're not going to run through all of them, but we do need to figure out um, which if Nathaniel's going to give out influence, which I know for a fact you will because you're the bull and there and influence. Yeah, you're gonna be pretty liberal with that. It's at the bottom of the bull character sheet. You want me to just just read it out for you, Blaine?
Sorry, I was on mute. I said sure.
Cool. So simple enough. You care way more than you let on. Give 3 teammates influence over you. So that's everyone on here. Yeah, it's an on and off switch basically. Either have or don't have influence on people. So, and that lets people do stuff like add +1s to their rolls against you, and let them tell you how you are in the world, etc., etc. Okay, so as mentioned, I think this is kind of like again the end of a school day, and you've all been called to the 3 of you anyway for the moment have been called to your base, and I think when you get there, I don't think all 3 of you are gonna get there at the same time. Actually, who's there first? Who do you think will be there first? Oh wait, hold on. I made a mistake. I read the influence rule for the delinquent, not the bull. Whoops. Sorry. No, you're selective about who you let in. That's a complete opposite. I'm sorry. Give your love and rival influence over you, but that's it. Sorry about that, Blaine. Sorry, yeah, no, I read the wrong influence rule. You only give your influence to your love and your rival. So at the very least, we know Spectre has influence over you. You're muted.
So how does that work if we do something like what Jim suggested, where the character has influence, but the super version of them doesn't? Or, like if I love the character out of the suit, but don't know who they are in the suit.
Yeah.
Like
well, yeah, you can totally do that. Or yeah, it depends on obviously which one you're dealing, whether you're dealing with hard suit or with Tatsuko, because you wouldn't know they're both the same person. I think it makes more sense like if it's hard suit who has influence over you, because you probably wouldn't know who Tatsuko is, and then you probably know of them, but since you're influenced with superheroes, you probably know hard suit more.
Okay.
And no, the love and rival stuff, they're not like super literal. Like love is just basically someone you care about quite a lot, and rival is someone you might have a competition over or with. Okay, so yeah, go on.
Yeah, the love thing can be platonic. It can be like a brother sister thing. It can be, yeah, like it doesn't have to be a romantic thing. I mean, it's usually kind of parsed that way in the comics. This is like the Thing and Alicia Masters or the Hulk and Betty Banner or whatever, stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be someone you really admire and want to have them, respect and like you.
In that case, I'd probably go with it being the Rook, just because of like the connection to where like maybe I also admired the what was it, the Night Crow or
Night Falcon.
Night Falcon.
That's totally awesome. That's the fangirls are going to think that is the best thing in the world. There's going to be so much fan fiction written about the two of you. That's perfect.
Oh, fab. Okay, so, but yeah, who gets to the base first? Out of the 3.
I missed something because my thing froze up.
Mm-hmm.
So which? Which is the rook on the bull here? Is he the love or the rival?
He's the love.
He's the love.
All right.
So basically, you have influence over the Mask Marauder.
All right.
All right. So yeah, who gets to your base first? You've been called by the Night Falcon.
Rook, when he calls you, do you show up early for these things or like right on the jot on time?
Usually probably a little earlier on time, but just depends on where I am. But yeah,
Because I think
close by. Yeah.
Because I'd be there like half an hour early, scanning everything, and like, because if I got a message, like if Hardsuit got a message, I'm certain it's a trap. Like that, there's no way that he would, like, because he clearly hates us. There's no way he would be getting in touch with us directly, and so I'm certain that this is some kind of setup trap, whatever, something like this. And I'm on a roof, whatever, halfway down the block, just with all my scanners up, and because I'm certain that this has drawn us into some kind of,
I imagine I've been kind of checking the place over periodically through the past week or two because of the whole note being left behind. But I would probably be doing that.
Yeah.
Do I know everybody got the message, or is it just
Yeah, I think yeah. You'll know because, well, yeah, actually no. I don't think you would. I think you just got the message. Meet at the base.
It's so much more fun if he doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. I think Hardsuit, your scans wouldn't pick up anything that weren't there already. Spectre, you've been called. You've been summoned.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, basically, Spectre's going to go straight there after school, with obviously a brief stop to get into costume. But yeah.
So I think whoever's there first, I think everyone got there early. Oh, you're a bunch of nerds, all of you. So I think y'all see waiting in the middle of your base, probably near the bank of computers that the base has a bank of computers. Of course, where do you keep your data and whatnot? Sitting there is Night Falcon, kind of like he's such a drama queen. He's very dramatically just like sitting on the chair, kind of like the cane propped up under knees, kind of like regarding you all, looking at the three of you, and you can tell he's making calculations. He's judging the hell out of all of you, just at this very cold look. That's the weird thing. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a costume on. He's in his civilian identity.
Who are you supposed to be? And why are you here? You work for the Spider, don't you? Well, I've got a thing or two to say about that. And because I don't know who the Night Falcon is, right? So like when I come through the door, I'm just like right in his face, like, old man, you better start talking, because I don't care who what spider thugs you brought with you. When you threaten us like that, you're not gonna get away with this.
Young hero, would you honestly think the Spider would be silly enough to do something as dramatic as this?
You know what? I think the Spider is a kind of arrogant jerk that would call me young hero instead of my name and talk about himself in the third person. So yeah.
Oh, Jim. Oh. Sorry, Jim. You froze after it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. No, that was yeah. So the Spider would be the kind of person. Yeah, I do, because the Spider would be the yes, yeah, and talk about himself in the third person. So yes, I do think that.
Yeah. Night Falcon raised an eyebrow, and he's kind of like, "All right, then. Instead of young hero, would you prefer to be called young lady?"
And like put my hands on my hips, and like who and like I turn to the Rook and I'm like, "Who is this guy?"
So before I answer that, I want to, I'm kind of in the mindset, whether he wants me to let them in on his. I mean, he's there in not in costume. They still don't know he's Night Falcon. So would I have to like pierce the mask to?
Ooh.
I just want
Yeah.
to see, just basically to determine whether he'd be okay with me either just spilling the beans, or whether he
Go ahead.
or if he's just on it, or
He's expecting you to try and be clever.
yeah.
Well, we'll see. If you want to pierce the mask, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. And that's what I'm bad at, because mundane. Ooh, and I got double ones
Oh my
with a
God.
-1. I got a 1 total.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I think
Got potential.
you got potential, but before you could say anything, he kind of stands up shakily, and he on his cane, and he's kind of like, what I'm here for is to put a monumental amount of trust on the three of you. And he kind of presses a button on his cane, and one of the monitors flicks on a CCTV image feed of, actually, Nathaniel,
User.
I'm assuming, have you done much superheroing since you've taken on the mask?
I think it's mostly like small time stuff, like the typical stopping muggers type thing. Like nothing like stopping a bank robbery quite that level or anything like that. It's all
What would you
small
be
time
doing?
stuff.
Yeah. What would you be doing right now as a superhero?
What time of day is it?
Let's say, actually, maybe we'll say it's a few hours after, maybe an hour after night has fallen.
Okay, so then in that case, he'd probably be like doing the whole walking the rooftops stick, looking for stuff, because he's not very good at finding crime yet. This is all sort of new to him. So
Alright.
it's as much an exercise in parkour as it is in crime fighting.
Okay, so I think, we all see on the monitor, it cuts from camera as they're tracking this new hero, this new mass vigilante, and Night Falcon kind of continues and says, what I'm about to task you is to ensure that few others like yourselves get hurt as you all partake in this, for lack of a better term, war against the spider. Who I am, you ask, Hardsuits. I'm the reason that you all are standing here in this place. I'm the reason why the Rook is as good as he is.
No way.
I kind of nod and say yes.
Oh my, I bring a hand up to my face, I mean, clearly my mouth is open inside my mask. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. You, we, everyone thought was pretty sure that you were dead.
Not dead, merely maimed. And he kind of sits down again, and you can tell that he was like doing his best to stand up, but he kind of sits down again, and he sighs, and he's like, This war.
Can we,
Oh, go on.
like, do you want like some coffee or something? Or, I mean, we've got a Keurig.
I know what you have in this space. Nothing gets past
Yeah,
me.
he bought the Keurig.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, stupid. Sorry, sir.
Please. My name is Robert.
Oh my
And
God. Can we? It's okay for us to call you Robert?
again, as I mentioned, I'm putting a lot of trust on the three of you because you're now part of this war, and the three of you need to see the consequences of those who make themselves a part of it. I'm one of those consequences, and it stands to me that as this war is heating up, the three of you need a reminder of what could happen, of what's at stake, and what the cost could be. And frankly, to put on the suit in this state would just be galling. So I've called the three of you here to basically brief you on what's to come, and he points at the screen, and so that you may rescue another one of your own. Make sure that they know what's at stake. I'll tell you now, this is not my own feed. This is a feed that I've tapped into that's been controlled somewhere else. And I'm pretty sure that this is the Spider's own feed. I'm not controlling these cameras.
So they can. There's been rumors in the neighborhood that they've been watching people through security cameras, and so it's true.
The Spider has had a lot of resources over the decades. They have the control that they possess it's a war myself and others have been fighting for a long, long time. But we found that it's an organization that's vast. It's hard to hack apart. Even you go for, and he looks down to kind of his legs. Even when you go for the head directly, one finds that there are always others ready to take on the mantle. I'll tell you now, I thought I had killed the Spider. I had thought I'd put an end to it. But, like many others, my thoughts turned out to be optimistic. And they cost me dearly. Whatever the Spiderweb is up to now, it's clear that they know no restraint anymore. They're quite willing to snuff out anything that could be seen as opposition directly. And that includes the three of you. Your friend was lucky enough to escape. This one, they may not. So go find him before they do.
Is there something about him that I can tell my mask to look, that I can tell the suit to look for?
Nathaniel, what are you doing now on the screen?
At this point, I probably have as much by luck as anything else come across, like a mugging in an alley below me, and you can sort of see me trying to figure out how to get down there from the rooftops.
I think Night Falcon kind of nods. He twists another thing on his cane, and another screen pops up, and it's kind of like it's tracking this kind of very faint residue sort of energy. Like obviously the Mass Marauder doesn't have energy abilities, but that power comes from somewhere, so to speak. And also I think also Nightfall kind of like, he doesn't say it, but he kind of like just nods at the screen, and it's like you can tell what he's kind of saying. You can tell what street that is. It's fine. And
Corner of 50 Main, huh?
What street's Main Street on? No, but no. I was going to try that. I was going to do that anyway. Notice the surroundings on the camera.
You gonna say something, Spectre?
No, I was going to say, yeah, I think that's the Mass Marauder. He's been getting some buzz recently. Boy seems to have some moves.
As you watch him like stumble down a wall.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he has the moves to deal with what's coming. It twists another cane, another monitor pops up, and it's a drone shot, and it's two familiar black sedans making their way towards the street.
So it looks like he's not that much more time. We better get on it.
Yeah, I don't, unless he can stop a rocket launcher.
Well, you've dealt with rocket launchers before.
Yeah, but we don't know whether he has or not.
Well, then that's your job.
That's why we're going to help.
Do you have?
Sorry.
You don't have the Raptor here, do you? Which is like his. I'm just Tim, if I say anything that falls outside your idea of Night Falcon, then please veto it, X-card it, whatever. But like I feel like he's totally the kind of hero that would have some like super plane that he used to fly over the city.
Well, I hadn't imagined him to be that advanced, but I'm not against
whatever.
it. I mean,
it's just like a helicopter or something like that. But but just the idea that Heartsuit is like, oh my god, can we use like the Night Falcon hovercraft to get to him? Like literally with like her hands together, like it's a like she's praying that they can do that.
Mothballed.
Visibly deflates.
Yeah. Turns out you don't need military hardware to deal with the criminal underworld. In fact, and he kind of looks at you at your suit, and he's like,
I cock my head at that, like that's the only way you deal with the criminal underworld.
That's kind of why I've been working on building a motorcycle.
I say, okay, let's go. I say we need to get there fast. Rook, you've got your motorcycle? Do you have your bike with you?
No, I said I was building one, but I could probably do the grappling thing. That's usually quicker.
And then,
okay.
Night Falcon, when you mentioned that, Night Falcon kind of smiles, and another twist in the cane, and there's a shot of the garage, and he's like, I've had more free time than you. And there's the motorcycle there.
And I say to Kai, okay, let's go. And I kind of like point to my back like I'm going to piggyback you. And I'm going to say, hold on. And I'm not kidding. Don't let go.
Sure thing. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And thanks, sir. It was a real pleasure. You were the real deal.
Just try not to die, kid. And I think he kind of like just sits back and like, I don't know if you noticed this, Rook, but yeah, he has been feeling more tired. And you noticed in the previous session where he just fell asleep while trying to make sure you're all alive and well. But yeah, I think yeah, and when he says try not to die, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, go do not the Lord's bidding, Jesus Christ, but yeah, go do your good work. Let's cut to the Masked Marauder. For now, while y'all are while you're en route. Okay, so you've made it down.
Yeah, I've made
to
it
the
down
street.
through a combination of stumbling down a wall and a fire escape, but I am now on the ground.
Yeah, and I think. Oh, go on. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought I heard something. But okay, so I think it's a classic comic book mugger, I guess. He's like, wallet, keys, cars, and the person that's kind of being you can't see who the person is, but they're kind of just like, all right, don't worry, take it easy, just stay calm, I'm doing I'm taking out my wallet right there. So the mugger is distracted while this person is taking their wallet out. What do you do?
Do they have like a knife or a gun? Because that changes the answer.
Ooh, they have a gun.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to try and tackle them to the side and smash them against the wall of the alley.
Oh, cool. All right, sounds like you are directly engaging. So that's a basic move. You are gonna roll 2d6 plus. Oh, why did I? Oh, wrong tab. 2d6 plus danger, which is
My good one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 7, 8, 9.
All right, fab. So, on a hit, trade blows. On a 79, you're gonna pick one of four. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I'm gonna take the gun from them.
Fab. All right. So, and this is just a mugger. Like, this is just some poor schmuck. So, tell me how do you do it? Like, describe your.
I think it's a little bit impromptu. Like, I smash them against the wall successfully, and they drop the gun when their hand hits the brick wall, and then I scramble after it so that they can't get it, and maybe when my back's turned to them is when they'd give me a blow if they do, or however you want to work that.
No, because the thing is, they're just an ordinary. You smash them in the head. I think you're. No, I think you probably you know what the blow is gonna be. The person who's being mugged kind of it's a gasp, and you hear this like voice kind of like you didn't have to hurt him like that, and you don't recognize this woman. I think the only person who will recognize this woman is Hardsuit because it's their mom. What's her mom's name again? Ayami, who doesn't have a good opinion about superheroes, specifically Hardsuit. So she's kind of looking at you like, we were resolving. It was gonna be fine. You didn't have to hurt him like that. And she's gonna give you a condition. I think it's gonna be guilty. That makes sense.
I think the Masked Marauder just sort of like looks dumbfounded and is like gesturing to the gun in his hand and then like just looking agog at her.
It's like, you put that gun away from me. Like you're caught. Honestly, we were all just busting. It was fine. We were resolving it. You didn't know who that was. You don't know what could have happened. Like you just charging in here, thinking anything could happen, and then behind you, headlights. Actually, headlights. And you hear a voice call, "Ma'am, is everything okay over there?" And these two men kind of come out. They're wearing suits, but they have police badges on, and they see you, Masked Marauder. You're waving a gun. No, you have a gun in your hand. this man. You've smashed a man into the wall, and this woman is she's not hysterical. She's just angry. this display you've done. What do you do?
I think like I, hold the gun up non-threateningly like that, and it's like, it's okay, officers. It's resolved now. I took care of the mugger. Like just trying to defuse it,
Yeah. Um.
and looking suspicious as hell in black clothes and a black scarf mask.
I think Masuda. It's kind of like, oh, he did more than take the murder. He damn near took his head off. It drove him to the wall. You can hear a bit of moaning from the mugger. Don't worry, the mugger's still alive. But he's probably gonna be in the hospital for months. Like, he has some strength. When they hear that, the officers kind of look at each other. When they see you, you're clearly a superhero with strength. And well, the thing is, they're not officers. You can tell that they're wearing suits for one thing, and they drove up in a black sedan, and one of them kind of like puts up their earpiece, like, we have a code to here. Should we engage? Nod, and they nod, and they pull out their guns on you, and they're like, would you get on the ground on your knees? And they don't say your Miranda rights. On your knees now. And I think, oh yeah, first of all, what do you do? And then we'll cut to the rest of the three jumping it, getting to the scene. What do you do? You can clearly tell these are...
They're not cops, and they're pointing guns at me. Can I shoot out the headlights and drop us into darkness?
You could try. Let me look at your powers, because you have super strength, endurance.
For my abilities for fighting, I gave myself skill with a sword and a bow, because that's going to be part of his thing at some point. But I don't know if that aim would trigger here.
Before you do stuff, I might ask you to maybe assess the situation. That's kind of like the move for figuring out what stuff to do. So just so you know what's going to happen, we'll see. So you are going to roll plus superior for that.
Okay. Double ones.
Oh my god. Mark potential. I think what's gonna happen is all right, do you say anything?
Probably like just like, now hold on, like this doesn't have to go this way type thing. Still trying to defuse it, because he's a little bit naive. He probably realizes something's not right, but I don't know that he thinks they're completely unaffiliated with the law at this point.
Okay. What's gonna happen is let me check something. Is one of the mooks, for lack of a better term, nods to the other and is like, keep him covered. One of them keeps the gun at you. The other one takes out a taser and just hits you with it and just shoots you. And you kind of the thing is, you're super hardy. You can endure this kind of, but it's still a nasty shock. It's a taser, and so you're gonna be kind of stuck there for the moment. You're not gonna be able to do anything until the rest of y'all get there. I think what you see are there's one car shining the headlights into the alley, and another kind of parked like perpendicular to it, and you can see two more folks inside the car, kind of like waiting. And I'd say all three of you get there around the same time. But are you coming at the same direction, or maybe in different angles? It's up to y'all.
I think the entrance is cooler if we all kind of are like I have a feeling that what happened, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Rook, you've got your new super cool souped up motorcycle. and it's the two of us ducking and weaving between in through traffic and around and basically racing each other to get there.
That's fab.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, that's, I think, yeah.
And Kate billowing out back behind and just
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah. like just blowing through red lights and like, doing that like side drop thing to go under semi trucks and all of that sort of stuff and
Ramping off things.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I can do stuff like like skate up on and skate across the front of a billboard or something like that. Perpendicular and then like drop down onto the road and stuff like this. So I mean, yeah. Spectre, you're getting a hell of a ride here.
How are you feeling, Spectre?
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I think he's enjoying himself.
Oh my god, does this hold on, let me look at your drive. Oh wait, no, you didn't have drive a fantastical vehicle.
No, sadly.
Oh, sadly not. This sounds like you all are entering into battle anyway. And yeah, I know 4 mooks with guns, but you don't know your mom's there. But you are kind of entering into fight with a dangerous foe. Considering what we've seen in previous fights, this could get ugly or this could go really quick. And we'll see. But when entering a battle with a dangerous foe, we have to ask a few questions. Because we're gonna have a pool of team, and I think we're gonna let the Masked Marauder take from that pool of team. So basically, Blaine, the team is how you help or interfere or aid and interfere with what's happening in a fight. So to determine how many team we have in the pool, first at the start of the session, clear all team, start back to 1. When you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, you add 2, so you now have 3. And a few questions. Actually, first off, who's the leader of this fight, do you think?
Totally the Rook.
Oh, I'll do that. Because I do have influence over every other teammate, apparently.
Including the Masked Marauder.
And this is like this is Night Falcon basically sent us on this mission, which means the Rook's in charge. Especially because we just I think I always thought that the Rook was inspired by Night Falcon, working to be like Night Falcon, but not that I kind of like the idea that we didn't get that. No kidding, it was the Night Falcon training you. I think that's kind of awesome.
That's cool.
So you're totally in charge now. Yeah.
All right. Rook's the leader. So if the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team. You do, even with the Masked Marauder. That's cool. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. What is everyone's purpose in the fight?
Save the new superhero.
Yeah, I believe that was the point. Is why we were sent.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
I'm gonna assume, Masked Marauder, you're here to save yourself now, or because you're under threat.
Pretty much. I mean, he still does have the lady behind him who's in danger with these guys with guns, but it seems like the guys are after him, so I would go along with that.
Yeah, I'll count that. I'll give you another team. That team is fine. If any team member mistrusts the leader of the team, remove a team. Oh my god. These terminology. Does anyone mistrust the Rook? You say no. All right, cool. All right. Sorry. If your team is ill-prepared or off balance, remove a team. Oh my god, these terminologies. I'd say since 3/4 of the team aren't ill-prepared or off balance, they're there to kind of they do their job. I'd say that doesn't count. So you have a big pool of team for the moment.
17 team.
Yeah. Here to save the team. All right. So big comic book panel of the 3 of y'all bursting into the scene, and it's big and flashy. You hear the 2 folks in the sedans. in the sedan, kind of like that's perpendicular to the car, looking at the alley. They come out. One of them has a shotgun. The other one has a. He's going to his earpiece and he's like, "We have a code 2. Supers here. Supers on the loose. Request for backup." And the shotgun man. I need to do something well. The shotgun man is going to take a shot at the flashiest person who's there, Hard Suit. And Hard Suit, I'll let you do something cool. What do you do?
So I'm like we're rocketing in, and this dude like levels a shotgun at us.
Mm-hmm.
Like and okay, so first of all, I don't want the Spectre to get hurt. So I just like reach over and just like yank him off of my back and like flip him through the air towards the Rook's bike so that he can land on the Rook's bike.
Oh, fab. I'm not gonna make you roll that. That's just such a cool image.
And you know, and then as soon as he's off of me, you know, I do the thing where like he's got the gun leveled down at me, but I like just like, because I'm kind of like, I've got, like I said, like those rocket skates and like the, you know, kind of the little retro rockets that come out of my shoulder blades. I'm just gonna do a thing where like he brings the gun like this, and I just like drop onto my back, and am just and I'm just gonna like, you know, just shoot along the ground, just like on my back with the rockets in my shoulders, propelling me along, so that the shotgun blast just goes right over me, and I can just plow right into him and just kneecap him.
I'm muted. Whoops, sorry. That sounds like you're directly engaging. Sounds right?
Yeah, I sure am.
Sure.
And this is the point where it's go time. So I am going to, like, now I see this, the shotgun comes down, and okay, I get to hurt some people. Like he brought the gun to the fight. Like, he stupidly brought a gun to a superpower fight. So now he's given me permission to bust him up. So I'm gonna swap my I'm gonna use my Janus ability to swap my mundane out from my mask ability, which is danger. So do a quick swap there. So that puts my danger to 3 and my mundane to 0. And then I've done that this game. Once per session, you can either affirm your heroic or seek. I'm affirming my heroic identity here, and I'm plowing into this dude. And it is, where is my roll for your party? Here we go. I rolled an 11, which gives me a 14.
Jesus Christ.
So I get to pick 2. I'm going to resist or avoid their blows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to impress, surprise, or frighten them. And I think in this case, it's surprise them, because like we just like they're all getting ready to take him out, and like kaboom at like, you know, 70 miles an hour, we're rocketing around the corner, and we're suddenly there, and I've just like blown this guy, like sent this guy ass over tea kettle before he even knows what happened.
That's fab. That's really cool. And I think, yeah, he goes flying. Poor schmuck.
And then I like kind of like you know, kick my sort of like kick up, and then like shower of sparks, and like, you know, like some trash from the alley kind of sprays up in like a rooster tail as I come to like a screeching stop in front of the lady who is clearly in trouble, and like do the thing where like I throw my arms up like this, and I say, "Just stand still, ma'am. We'll protect you." Because
Okay.
I totally don't recognize who it is just yet.
Yeah, clearly. All right. Well, you're also next to the masked marauder now, who's and right in front, in front of these two thugs. Meanwhile, the one other thug you didn't get to clear, he's seen all that. He's like, "Fuck, because as even though they know about hardsuit, clearly they don't know about hardsuit clearly, and so there's an opportunity there. He's kind of surprised. He has called for backup, but he's kind of shocked. Rook, yeah, you've added extra weight to the Spectre, and you're kind of barreling down on this this dude on this dude. What do you do?
I figure I kind of come skidding to a halt there to hop off real quick, careful not to throw Spectre off, and kind of do the. I'm assuming I'm on the behind the cars, right? So I kind of just, or are they SUVs?
They're sedans.
Okay, so I kind of, after I do that, I run toward them, step up on the bumper, and just kind of up and over the car, and there's one guy remaining, right?
Yeah.
So just more or less go ahead and tackle him, try to get his weapon away from him.
And another engagement.
And
otherwise, roll
that is 6, 7, 8 for my danger. So.
Oh yeah, you danger went down. All right, cool. So pick one.
That went up. Mine did. I rolled a 6 and got 2 danger. So.
Oh, fab.
I'll go ahead and take something from them. I'll just knock the weapon out of his hand. Yeah,
I think he had silly him. He took out a stun baton. That's gonna. Yeah, like I think. Yeah, you see that. And you're like, I've been dealing with stun baton since I was 10. Was it? Yeah. That age. Whenever you got adopted, and I think you very much like clear him, but you knock him cold. Spectre, you're
yeah. So the masked marauder is on the floor, right? He's being sort of tasered and is.
Yeah. I think what it is there's still a car and 2 people between you and the marauder in hard suit, and this woman, and also the thing is, the man is called for backup, and you can hear police sirens kind of in the distance. What do you do, Spectre?
Sure thing. So I think what happens is as Spectre's sort of hurled to the bike, and as they're all coming in, he's kind of gone into a dive in midair, caught onto the pillion with both hands in a classic pommel horse maneuver, and he kind of spins himself around and vaults towards the two other men who are surrounding Marauder. He's essentially going to go into a sort of forward roll, and he's just going to try and shove the 2 of them forwards. He's not really looking to take them out, just knock them off balance, so that he can sort of get into Marauder.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe a defend here.
Okay. All right.
That was the sort of thing.
You weren't going after them. You were going after them to defend. Someone and give them opportunity. Fab. All right. So roll savior.
That's a 9 in total.
So 79. Okay, you choose one, but on 79 it costs you. Expose yourself to danger, escalate the situation. All right, so choose one, add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I'll add a team to the pool, I think, because I already have influence over. Although I suppose
The thing is, if you take influence again, that means you get to shift their labels.
it does. I think I'll just add a team to the pool for the moment. Nice and simple. Yeah.
Right. So you've knocked him down, and that knocking down takes the taser stuff off you, Marauder. You're free now to kind of like get up and take stock of the situation. Has These two men have kind of been knocked down, but you can hear one of them kind of like very like not calmly, but like like under fire going, more supers on our location. Request for backup immediately, and yeah, all of you can hear those sirens now coming in, and Roger, you can stand up now. There's two superheroes, and Rook probably you can come in there now. You kind of knock these guys knock these guys down, but the situation's not over because again, police sirens and this woman is kind of like just aghast at all this has happened so much. She's been shocked into a bit of silence, but you can tell she's kind of looking at all this, and it's like, what? This was just what's happening here?
I think Marauder would probably like sort of glance back at her and say, "Lady, you need to get out of here." And just like he's still sort of like facing. So are these two guys still active combatants, or are they just?
I think Spectre is knocking down. Like he's kind of rolled. I'm gonna say Spectre. You rolled next to Hard Suit and the Masked Marauder. They're both getting up. The taser is off you, Marauder. What do you do?
I think I'm going to get my revenge on the guy that tasered me.
So you do the thing you do best, which is punch him.
Yeah, just like the cold clock to the jaw type punch. I think I'm going for.
Hold on. I need to. Okay, I think they're still active. So this is gonna be a roll. Like you're directly engaging them anyway. Because again, punching. Everyone's free to help. There's two of you there. But yeah, roll that plus danger.
That is an 8. Although actually, I might have disregarded this earlier, but one of my moves is punch everyone whenever you charge into a fight without hedging your bet, so you can shift your danger up and any other label down. Does that apply here? It would only bring it up to a 9 anyway, but.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of applies because you kind of jumped in. It was a mugging. You kind of jumped in like, I'm gonna do this. Didn't expect the situation to escalate, but I think I'll let you put your danger.
That would only bring it up to an 8 anyway. I guess we just need to keep track of it if we're doing that.
Yeah. Make sure change that and pick one. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I think I'm gonna go for impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition because I want to just kind of cold clock this guy and drop him. Hopefully.
All right, fab. I think that happens. You punch this guy, and the other guy just kind of like arms raised, but he kind of smiles and is like, "Don't think this fight is over yet, heroes." And what you hear is police sirens and a helicopter. Sure, why not? A helicopter spotlights. Baby, I think Rook, you see this. A helicopter has come in, spotlight down on the mouth of the alley, and you can see, Rook, the street has been cordoned off. There's now like a line of cars and policemen cordoning off each end of the street, and you hear the helicopter going. You're surrounded. No, that sounds like that's too gangster. Superheroes. Yeah. Get out of the alleys with your hands raised above your head. You're surrounded. And when you hear that, I keep forgetting your name. Ayami was kind of like, I only had $20 in my wallet. We could have just gone to what have you people been doing? Dave, you're still at 6 team. The fight is still ongoing, I'd say. You're now in the siege. But this woman's kind of like, well, I can't really leave unless you let me, can you? None of this needs to have happened. Like, I could have gone there with just like $20, and I could have just gone home to see my daughter and just had a nice night. And now, what have y'all been doing? Why are you here?
Assuming he would have let you gone home.
He was just another desperate person.
So I'm can I point out a rules thing? Like, she's got influence over all of us.
Yes.
So I mean, she's an adult, so she's she's telling us how things are.
Yeah, true. And it's just like, should I make? Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna make everyone do that. So because that's interesting. All right. So this hold on, let me look that up. When someone with influence over you tells you who you are or how the world works, accept what they say or reject their influence. If you accept what they say, the GM will adjust your labels accordingly. If you want to keep your labels as they are, you must reject their influence. She's definitely raising your danger up. I think that's what she sees you. You've all escalated this situation immensely, and there's now a bunch of cops blockading you all. She's definitely raising your danger up and your savior down. Because I think so. Each of you are going to choose whether to accept that or reject it. Let's start with the Masked Marauder, since you kind of started this. Well, not kind of, but like, not your fault, but we'll see.
So what are the consequences for rejecting it?
You have to roll to see if you reject it, and no modifiers, and then you get to choose if you hit. If you miss, you're gonna mark a condition, and the adjustment will happen. Are you rejecting it?
No, I was just curious. I don't think he would. He's sort of seeing this all spiral out of control in real time. This is probably the largest thing he's been involved in at this point, so it's probably all just surprising with him.
All right, so move your danger up and your savior down. And Spectre. Do you accept or reject?
I think Spectre is probably going to try and resist this. Because that's not how he really sees the world work. Or rather, I'm interested to see whether that is how he sees. I'll let see what the dice say. I think is probably the way to put that.
Yep.
No, yeah, he definitely sees her point. And I think probably I'm going to mark guilty. Seems the most apt condition.
Makes sense. Mark a potential as well. And yeah, shift those labels. Hard suit. Your mom's telling you off.
She's totally right.
Ooh.
There's no way I can I can't. She's my mom, so I even if I thought I was right, I can't argue with her, because if I do, she's gonna know it's me.
Oh dear.
So I can't. I just have to keep my mouth shut. But I am already at my maximum danger, which means I'm going to take a condition.
Yep. I'll let you pick. How are you feeling?
Oh, guilty. Oh my God, this is totally guilty. This is exactly all the stuff she says, which is that heroes just make things worse, and without their intervention, the community would just go on about its way. This is totally what's happening. This is exactly what's happening right now. I'm super guilty about having about the fact that she's involved with this, because she would not be like if it weren't for me and my stupid friends, she would have just gotten mugged, given the guy her mugger's money that she carries around with her, and went home. So yeah.
Okay, so point of order. I was already at 3 danger because I used punch everyone. So should I have tried to resist that to resist going over 3 danger, since that seems to be the max?
So
no, what? Oh, go on, Jim.
Or would I just take a condition?
You take a condition. Yeah.
Okay.
You resist it if it makes sense narratively and story wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of it's like you can't, like, you don't have to ignore the mechanical consequences of stuff, but it's kind of against the spirit of play to go, well, this would mess with my stats, so I'm not going to do that, even though narratively it makes sense at the moment. So you just do the thing that makes sense, and then it all, because you get opportunities to make the conditions go away and stuff like that. It's not like it's a permanent thing that happens to you. So yeah.
All right. In that case, I would definitely get a condition. Do I just choose one?
I'll let you choose. How are you feeling after she's told you?
I think he's probably feeling really insecure right now.
Not everyone gets it on their first go. Well, not the first go, but their first big go, I guess. Well, you didn't expect this to be your first big go.
It wasn't supposed to be a big thing. It was supposed to just be a mugging.
Yeah, but finally, the Rook. Do you accept or reject this?
I will reject. And double ones. Oh boy.
Oh, there.
So what happens here is it?
The label shift happens.
What labels?
Hit you. Danger. Oh, good for you. Good. Danger up and savior down. And you mark potential. Ooh, you just hit another advancement.
Yay.
And you're gonna mark a condition as well. How are you feeling? As she's told you all off.
I am probably a little angry because she's right, and we kind of got caught into a dead end again. A little bit, or maybe should I be a little guilty? I'll go with guilty because the other one's just kind of too easy for me to clear right now.
All right. Yeah. So she's told you all this, and y'all can react however you want, but she's just like, and the coyote guy is just like, don't worry, ma'am. We'll get you out of here as soon as possible. Our men and women are working are doing their best to calm the situation down. It's up to these youths if they want the situation to calm down. Yeah. So I'll give you all a moment to think of this, to talk about what to do. Oh, by the way, there's a new hero. There's a new hero you've been sent here to save. Marauder, how are you feeling? You got these 3 heroes have just come in. You don't know that they've come here to save you.
I think he's just generally overwhelmed at this point. He probably, when the guy says that, mutters the situation was calm before you showed up type of thing, but he's not saying that out loud and proud or anything like that. He's still trying to make sense of everything that's happening. Obviously he recognizes the Rook, so that's probably a thing, and I don't know. I'm sure he has passing familiarity with the others just because of the local happenings, but I don't know that he has as much of complex about them just because the Rook is the love or whatever. So, which don't read too much into that, but who knows?
Fab. And I think I'm just kind of like, well, then I have nothing else to say to any of these four until the situation has calmed down. And unless you engage, yeah, she's not going to say anything unless you engage with her. So the four of you are trapped in this alley. What are you doing? The helicopter is still blaring. Yeah, come out with your hands up. No need to escalate the situation.
Are you asking me or?
Just generally the group.
We need to get out of here, says Hardsuit.
Yes, we need to get the civilian to safety.
No, she'll be fine.
The civilian
these people.
scoffs. What Hardsuit says. Sorry, go on then, Rook.
I said with those people.
They just want us. We just want us. The fastest way to make her safe is to get them chasing us, and for us to get out of here.
Sounds like a plan. If I can get to my bike, I can take one other. Hardsuit, you'd have to carry someone else.
And I nod.
Spectre, you're going to say something?
No, yeah, saying, okay, Marauder, if you want to go with Rook, I'll go with Hardsuit. We split up, we can probably shake them more easily.
Before this happens, Marauder, you're going to say something?
Yes, but I don't know what he'd say because I don't think he knows what he'd say.
That's fine. That's fine. Before you all get to it, phone starts ringing, and it's coming from the Coyote agent, and he's just like, "Am I allowed to pick that up?"
No. Like, so what? Like, is he holding it or is it in his pocket?
No, it's in his suit pocket. It's ringing.
Oh yeah, no, I just reach out and crush it. Like, just like his phone rings and I'm like one of these, like a oh no you don't, call in more backup, like finger wag at him and just reach out with the armor and just like just grab his suit by the lapel and there's like a crunch as I just bust his phone.
He looks at that and is like, "Oh, you're gonna wish you hadn't done that. My boss was gonna offer you fair terms."
And I cock my head and I say, "Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff I wish I hadn't done in the last 48 hours. Get in line." And yeah, and this is, and do the thing where like I reach out with the armor and like flick him in the forehead to knock him out.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna let you do that. He's not a threat.
It's like just a cool superhero thing. Like he was already incapacitated, but like the like that thing that strong heroes can do, where they go like ding and they like hit you in the middle of the forehead and like like whap him hard and knock him over.
Ayami gasps at that. I think her silence kind of broken there, and she's just like, "You didn't have to do that."
And I turn to her and I point at her and I say, "No, I didn't, but I did."
Shoreline
so there.
Deserves better heroes than the likes of you.
And like I kind of point at my back so that the Spectre can jump on.
Yep, I'll hop onto Hardsuit's back.
And I say, "Keep your head down."
I mentioned to everybody when I popped the smoke, bolt. Bolt, point to the other ones here with me. And I'll just scatter smoke bombs everywhere, just all over the place.
Okay.
It's an alley, so it's pretty...
Yeah. I think what's going to do is that's going to, if you want to say, that's going to add team to people's roles, because I'm going to need you all to roll to get out of here. think so.
okay
Hard
with
suit. Yeah, hard suit sounds like you're unleashing your powers to use all the super speed. Or...
Yeah, because I'm gonna you know, like he pops the smoke and it like, you know, and like, you know, like the kind of the panel in the comic is like, you know, the HUD on my camera fills up with smoke, but then immediately like all the like wireframe drawings of where everybody is that my, you know, whatever, or not like night vision green outlines of everybody because my suite can see through the suit, through the smoke. And then I just like, because normally I need like a block to really get going, but this is gonna I gotta like get going as fast as I can, as quick as I can, and then I'm gonna like, you know, kind of skid up the wall and go like, you know, over their heads, like because they've all got the alley blocked, right? So I need to kind of go up the side over the wall and then kind of go over them that way and not wipe out when I land. I think is I think this is more of a do I wipe out when I land thing. But let's see. Let's
see.
Unleashing the powers is freak.
Yeah.
Which is terrible for me. So let's see. Let's see how that all rattles out.
You get a +1. I think if Rook says that team, the smoke is him spending a team to give you an assist.
Yes, I'll do that.
Well, let's see if I need it first before we spend any of the team on it.
Still narratively there.
The answer is probably, but yeah, because that's a 3 - 1. I've got a 2. We would need to spend 5 team to even make that a hit for me.
Yeah.
So let's not do that.
Yeah, I mean you have 7 team, but
that's an awesome time for a miss.
For only one person, because you only get one team per person anyway. I think.
Yeah, for me to just wipe out, that would be super awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'd say
or whatever happens. Yeah.
Well, what's gonna happen is I think when you wipe out, that's enough time for the helicopter to mark potential for its spotlight to be on you.
To get that, I've got the spotlight on me now. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yes. And and they see you running and they're not even going to give you a warning. They're just gonna start shooting at the two of you. And you're gonna take a condition. Oh wait, no, you're gonna take a condition. You're not taking a powerful blow because I think they're shooting at your feet. They're kind of like, if you're gonna keep moving, we are gonna employ deadly force on you. But yeah, spotlight's on you, and yeah, you're gonna take a condition. Afraid. Oh dear. Or yeah. Okay. So while they're on the rooftop there, Rook and Marauder, their attention of the helicopter is at least directed now on the two at the top there. Where you're making a getaway then?
Yeah, so there's only the helicopter there now. There's none of the other people that are on their way. Has arrived yet?
Yeah, there's no one else on their way, but the two ends of the street where the alleyway kind of comes out to, they have been blockaded. But you have a cool motorcycle.
When I get to it, but
oh yeah, when you get to it, yeah.
So I kind of motion, Marauder, follow me, and can I try to throw something at that? Is the helicopter close enough for me to hit with a thrown object, like this, to knock the spotlight out?
Ooh, I'm gonna say yes, because no is a more boring answer.
I mean, following that, Marauder still has the gun that he.
I don't know if you want to start shooting in the middle of
that might send the wrong message.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to try like a shuriken or something. We'll see if we can take that spotlight out.
Fun.
Is that directly engage?
No, because it's a spotlight. You can't really trade blows with a spotlight. That's kind of unleashing your powers again, because you're trying to reshape the environment with your skills. So yeah. That's a roll plus freak.
4 plus 1 plus another one. That is a 6. Unless someone can spend a team or something.
Yeah, Marauder. Do you want to spend the team to bump that to a 7?
Sure. I'm not really sure on what the team does overall, but
That's how you help people. Basically, you spend it to add +1 to another person's roll, and then narratively, what are you doing to help? It's like, are you the one doing the throwing, or?
I mean, that could be
Fastball special.
Yeah, I do have the strength to throw something up. Maybe it's a little bit higher than he thinks he could hit or something. So we could do it that way.
All right. So on a 7 to 9. So we'll say that, yeah, that does happen. Like, yeah, Rook was kind of like, yeah, here you go. You're part of the team now. You got a shuriken. Throw it.
There's a brief moment where I considered keeping it.
All right. So actually, what's going to happen is either you mark a condition or the effect is going to be unstable or temporary.
I think unstable or temporary, because I'm just hoping it long enough to let Hard Suit and Spectre get away.
Okay, yeah. So what happens is, yeah, you throw this shuriken, and the thing is, you may have a lot of strength, but you're not as trained as the Rook. You know, you might dream of throwing shurikens, you know, in your anime afterlife, but there's a difference between thinking about it and doing it. So what happens is that you don't take out the spotlight, but you do hit the helicopter enough force that it kind of sways away long enough for the spotlight to be off Hard Suit and Spectre. We're gonna jump to Spectre. How are you feeling? Do you want to add something to this so like you can make your escape?
Yeah, I think that Spectre is going to, as they're kind of heading, leaping off onto another sort of rooftop, Spectre's going to leap off, losing names, Hardsuit's back, and start running in a different direction, basically. And I think he's going to pull out like a, like in his sort of, under his sort of sweatshirt, he's got like a kind of bag, and he's going to get like a flare out of it and light that up to kind of confuse matters.
All right, so that could be a lot of basic moves. That could be either like defending Hard Suit, or you're provoking the others, or maybe like even make a case for unleashing it. It's because you're shaping the environment so that the effect is on you.
I think.
So what are you're trying to distract?
Probably provoke is the closest, because I'm essentially trying to. I'm trying to distract. I'm trying to distract them. I'm trying to get them to follow me, or at least lose us.
Because I think provokes means it's kind of like they have to be successful with your words. They kind of are the police trying to catch you all, so they are susceptible. So I'd say, do you shout something, or just make the flare?
Yeah, I will just like yell out, "Catch me if you can, pigs!" Up at them as I'm sort of.
Fab, roll your superior. You muted there, Dave?
Sorry, I didn't realize I muted myself. Yeah, that was an 11.
Wow. All right. On a 10+, they rise to the bait and do what you want. Yeah. So what do you want them to do? You want them to follow you?
Yeah, I think I want the helicopter to start following me.
All right.
As I kind of draw them away from Hard Suit, because I figure I can easily blend in and lose them.
Yeah, and you've done this stuff before. You're graffiti on.
Yeah.
And yeah, so good news. You got what you want. The helicopter's following you. Bad news, you get what you want. The helicopter is now following you. Hard suit, the helicopter is now off you and is chasing a flare-wielding Spectre, which is kind of opposed to the name Spectre, but we'll let that slide. What are you doing?
Oh man. Boy.
Do you want me to jump to the Rook while you think about what you want to do?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that, please. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, Rook, you with the help of Marauder have taken out the helicopter, and the helicopter is moving in a direction. You don't know what direction, but you're kind of hoping it's probably. Actually, no. You see the flare. The flare is hard. Not. It's hard to miss. But the attention is on them anyway. You can kind of hear commotion on the other side, on both ends of the street. You got an opportunity to get to your motorcycle,
which is what I do, and hopefully the Marauder can either hop on, or I haven't decided whether it has a sidecar or not. But maybe it will later. But,
maybe, yeah.
But,
I think Night Falcon figured, look, you need to get around the streets. Sidecar.
Yeah.
Not
optional.
All right, so Marauder, you're clinging on to your love. Not an actual love, but you know it is. But okay, Rook, you've got your cool ass motorcycle. You've got this hero with you. What do you do?
So I kind of take off in direction. I don't go directly in the same direction as the helicopter is chasing, but I kind of try to follow parallel to see if there's any way I can kind of aid Spectre to lose them, or lose both of us, hopefully.
All right. So yeah, I think you're following. Yeah, I think you're following along. You kind of, as Spectre is running through, I guess the rooftops and the alleys, parkouring their way through Prospect City, so to speak. You're kind of following along, and actually, no, I don't think you're following along just yet, because you have to get through the police cordon. Actually, you know what? Everyone's sufficiently distracted enough, because I don't think narratively it's interesting to make you try and get you. I don't want to bottleneck you there. I think, yeah, you're chasing along this helicopter. Hard suit, how are you feeling? Do you communicate to this? Does anyone communicate to each other?
So right now we've got a thing where like the Spectre is just like booking it across the rooftops, but like the spotlight is just like he's just running. So this is like on an episode of Cops where like there's no way he's going to get away from that, right? And the Rook is down, like zooming along, keeping pace, trying to keep pace down below. But but it sounds like the Rook got out of the alley and away from the cops. Is he getting chased by cars and stuff like this?
Ooh, yeah, I think they're not as close as they'd like to be, because in the confusion of the flare and whatnot. Because the thing is, they're private security, and very new private security as well. They're not trained. They're not technically trained for this. So I think there will be chasing Rook, but they're not.
So here's what I think. I think it's 4:30 of our last session.
Mm-hmm.
So the mask is a lie, and some piece of me has always known that. Doesn't matter if others can see it. I'm the one that can do the impossible. Mask off, costume on, and I'm going to save the damn day. Of course, I better hope no one nasty is watching. So I unlocked my moment of truth, so I'm going to use my moment of truth.
Fab. Could you tell folks on watching this, and for people who might have seen this in action, what does a moment of truth do?
Sure. So moment of truth is kind of like you're cool, the music swells. If any of you have ever seen Winter Soldier, moment of truth is when Cap takes out that jet by himself.
Oh my god!
Like your moment of truth is like everything is on the line, and specifically for the Janus, like the iconic Janus moment of truth is Spider-Man stopping the train, right? Because like His mask comes off. He doesn't care. In any other situation, he would swing away if his mask was broken. But like, people are in trouble. He needs to save them. He saves them, you know, like with this huge act of will and effort. And, you know, and there's that like scene where they like kind of crowd surf him back with his mask off, and he saves the day. But in a game of masks, essentially what that means is I get to narrate the outcome of this encounter. And then there's
pretty much.
And then if we were to keep playing, there'd be a bunch of fallout and stuff like this afterwards. So
yeah,
which there may just be, even in the last half hour, there may be fallout of this. But my mom is back down in the alley and stuff like this. So, but we are not getting away from this helicopter unless I take some drastic action.
All right. Go ahead. Hard suit.
So, like, I get on my feet and I see what's going on, and I just like I have no trouble catching up to the Spectre as he's kind of trying to run and stuff like this and everything. And and I like zoom up alongside him, and I like reach down, and there's like a and I pull my helmet off, showing, and so now you know who I am now, because I was that girl at the school that was taking the pictures, right? And I say, it'll let you see through any smoke. They won't be able to shine the spotlight on you, and it's got a course back to the warehouse plotted. And I just like reach out and I like plump it onto your head. And then like right angle rip off to the side, and the spotlight, like, you know, the helicopter swerves and the spotlight follows me. And we go across a couple of, you know, like across a couple of rooftops. Like I do a, you know, like a 30-foot jump over, you know, the avenue in between, like a main street jump. And kind of, you know how before I said I kind of skate alongside a billboard? And the helicopter is like zooming down, and like, you know, whatever, they've brought a door gun out or something like this, you know, and but I come right at one of those billboards, and I just like jump and rocket straight up, and just like, instead of turning, I just come right off of it. And you know, I'm like 60 feet in the air, and the helicopter is coming right at me, and like the pilot like has this look of astonishment on his face and swerves as I do the, like, you know, the double-handed just smash down into the nose of the helicopter. And, you know, it lurches down, you know, does that kind of wheelie spin like this, and you know, does the like thing, twirls a couple of times, and smashes down into the street right in front of where the cars that are pursuing the Rook, you know, cause they all have to like screech to a halt and like, you know, kind of like crash together and stuff like this and everything. You know, and I tumble down and do that, like, you know, like pavement crunching, like 3-point landing, like Iron Man style, you know, and just for a second, I'm fully illuminated by that spotlight from the, you know, from the door of the helicopter. So the guys in the helicopter can see exactly who I am. And then I turn and rocket off to catch up with my friends.
Oh my God. Let's start with, okay, I think, yeah, that was all awesome. Spectre, you've been given this helmet by this person who turned out to be someone you knew from school. Do you do as they say?
Yeah, I will. I will do as she suggested. I'll start heading back towards the headquarters.
All right. Rook, all this happens and the helicopter crashes. And yeah, what do you do?
I'm assuming I didn't see the hard suits reveal, but I guess I'm just going to, since that's no longer a problem, I'm going to head on, just kick into overdrive, get on down the road. If there's any other car, did the helicopter stop cars following, or?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
The
So,
thing with
yeah,
moment
we'll
truth is that that seals off that encounter.
head
So,
back
yeah,
to
you
the
get it.
base, I guess, or is it,
All right.
since
Yeah. And Marauder, you're kind of stuck for the ride, but tell us how you're feeling as all that happens.
I mean, basically geeking out.
Yeah.
Taking in all the details of the Rook's suit, like all the gadgets on his belt, like how awesome the motorcycle is, and watching the crazy shit going on in the sky above. Like, this is so much bigger than he had expected to happen tonight. So he's just shell-shocked, pretty much.
Fab. I think we're gonna end on one final scene with all four of you at the base. I think that makes sense. I think Spectre, you get there probably first because you were given you get to go there. If do you want a scene with hard suit before anyone else gets here, and vice versa, this hard suit wanted, or?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think sort of I get back there. It said probably not much before hard suit because obviously you've got the speed of the suit and the route that I'll be taking back essentially. So I think we probably get back at a similar time. I'll sort of have the helmet under my arm.
And
I think.
No,
Oh no, so yeah.
No, go on. No, go on.
No, I was just going to say, and I think, when Hardsuit gets there, I'll.
So I come, whatever, like zooming down, kind of rocketing around the alley and we can probably hear the Rook's motorcycle approaching. I say, and I kind of walk up to him and I kind of hold out my hand for the helmet. But as I do, I say, why didn't you just leave me? You didn't have to do that.
Look, I figured my chances. It's not the first time I've had to run away from the police. It's fine. Look, but Angirl, that's awesome. That the mask and everything is gonna hand it back over.
And I kind of look at and I do that thing where I hold it like a very comic booky thing where I hold it in my hand and look at the reflection of my face in the mask for a second. And I kind of cock my head and I say, I wish I didn't have to wear this.
Well, I'm glad you do.
Do you know the woman in the alley?
Yeah.
That was my mom.
Ah, man, that's rough.
I think it's probably safer for her if she hates Hardsuit and doesn't want anything to do with her. And then I put the mask on so you can't see me crying. Because I clearly I think it's like I say that and my eye is just starting to water and I see you looking at me and then it's like I just pull the helmet on.
Yeah, and I think I'll just kind of pat the shoulder of the suit and say, and don't worry, I won't let on who you are.
Thanks for that. That's you don't. I mean, you just have that's the bravest thing I've ever seen anyone do. I mean, I don't know what you thought you were going to do with just a spray can. We got to get you some kind of, I don't know, protection or something. And that can, and I'm totally cool with that being when the Rook shows up.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Rook shows up. You're probably leading Marauder into this, showing him around, I guess. Marauder, you're now in a secret base, and a bunch of superheroes are standing around. What are you doing?
Pretty much more of the same. Holy crap, this is so cool. You guys have a secret base. Like that type of stuff. Probably just his mouth is going and going and going, and he's not shutting up, and probably the Rook's getting sick and tired of it by now because it's been going the whole way back. And at some point he's like, hang on, why am I here type thing? Why am I part of this? Why did you guys show up to help him? And so he'd probably ask that as a frank question to the Rook.
Because those people that came out on you have been hunting superheroes, for lack of a better word, and we got word of your activities and figured you'd be a target.
So those weren't real cops then?
Not the ones in the cars, at least.
They work for the Spider.
I think Rook, you get a message. Say, typical as always. But you know how Night Falcon usually just messages stuff like, meet me at this, do that, and whatnot. Instead, the message, Rook, that you get is it's just it's 3 words. You got this. Because he's not there at the base. I think you can all tell. And unless you have anyone has any more to say to each other, I think I'm gonna ask you all for like a quick epilogue. I know, like, I don't think just like a not at the end, but to be continued for sure. Just like, because the story continues clearly. More heroes have been united to this cause. I'm gonna ask for a scene to see what your characters are doing in the aftermath of this. Let's start with the Rook.
Well, I still figure, since like the Spider's still active and this is kind of, I suggest, the beginning, as it were. I said he just continues researching, looking into coyotes, as well as anything that can be linked back to the bombing of
Did something happen?
Yeah, I just had everything reset and lost connection for a bit there.
Yeah, okay, so that wasn't just me. Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tim, you got cut off after you saying Saguaro?
Yeah, basically after, while investigating that, trying to see if there's any links toward, the detonator I found and Coyote, as well as also just keeping on the lookout for other vigilantes or supers that could benefit or otherwise, benefit from a team or otherwise become targets of the Spider or this, this group that has taken to hunting them now.
Okay.
Kind of hope
can
to
I
look
add?
in
Okay.
my moment of truth since I unlocked it, but it kind of timed out. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we ever come back, we ever see the Rook again in Prospect City, can I add a little thing to that as well? I think there's one night, the Night Falcon just comes across you and he tosses you a key, and he's kind of like, it's been mothballed for a few years. I'm sure you can get it running again. And you can tell, it's a key to a garage, and in that garage is the Raptor, so to speak, folded up, and But he's giving you the keys. He's passed it along. Might want to name it something chess related in the future. Fit your motif better.
Well, Rook is more kind of like bird crow type.
Oh,
Like the card game Rook. It's got a black bird on it.
All right. Okay, cool. Sorry, no need to change it. Well, it's yours now, so we'll see. Spectre, what's the last we see of you for now?
Yeah, so I think kind of the final scene for Spectre is actually going to be him, maybe with Rook, maybe with Hardsuit a bit as well, doing some like actual training how to fight. So sort of doing some sort of basic martial artsy type stuff. And yeah, you know, it's clear he's still got a way to go, but he's sort of starting to get to grips with.
Might I also add throwing in some costumes for Spectre and Marauder at some point.
So the move from like Man in the Black Mask to Daredevil, so to speak. Marauder, what's the last we see of you for now?
I think you'd probably see him getting sort of like mentored by one of the characters, whoever wants to sort of step up to that type of role, just like get the run of the trade, because he is so new to all of this. And yeah, sure, we can have a costume upgrade, so like now it's no longer just black clothes, but he still keeps like that motif, but it's like black leather armor with like studs and stuff on it. So it's definitely an upgrade and a much more distinct look than just, hey, I found a black hoodie and a scarf.
Helps to be bankrolled by an actual team. And finally, Hardsuit. Let's go.
I think totally the next thing we see is Kai, did we establish that you were also on the gymnastics team? Was that a thing we said? I think
that's right, yeah.
Okay, so I go to gymnastics practice the next day. And I come walking in and I kind of look like and I and when we're like pairing up so that like the boys spot the girls for like their tumbling runs and stuff like this, I have never like paired off with Kai before, but I like walk over to him and like basically kind of like whatever girl was going to be with you, I kind of like shoo her to the side. And I'm like, and I kind of grin and cock my head and I say, I don't know, I just feel like I'll be safe if you're taking care of me. And I kind of like, and I look a little sheepish and I say, and I heard that your date for the dance is not going to be around for a little while. And we can even cut there without making him answer. Just because cool, yeah. That's, yeah. You're muted, Leandra.
Oh, for God's sake! I was wondering out loud because I kind of want to add a little thing to that, a bit of fallout to to what you did. I think maybe when you get home from there, your mom calls him and says, "You got a call from from the police. They want to ask some questions about what happened with Jenny." And I think when you take this phone call, you hear this soft, kind of like silky woman's voice and saying, "Since you gave us the courtesy of showing your face, I'll give you the courtesy of letting you hear my voice." And I think we cut from there. Hey, so yeah, thanks very much for playing along. Thanks to everyone who's watching. I'm gonna cut off the broadcast here. We're gonna do Roses and Thorns afterwards. We'll take a. If people need to go, find. Actually, I'll stop the project here. But thanks very much for playing. Again, all the stuff I mentioned at the top, links down there to the Gauntlet, to Magpie Games, to Mask. If you like this game, check all that stuff out. If you like the Gauntlet, check out all the stuff they do. They got blogs, they got a podcast network, Hangouts, where all this is arranged. Gauntlet Con is not for another year. Well, just check all that out. It's all there on gauntlet-rpg.com. But yeah, say goodbye to our fantastic group of players. And I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye.